Hello and welcome back to the Sunday special episode of the U Up Podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is such a pleasure to be back here with you, Jordana. And we love a Sunday special, short, bite-sized episodes. This is, I mean, right now you might be doing your road trip home from a long weekend, doing 4th of July weekend. This is like
July 7th.
July
Heart
7th.
Of summer.
We are in it, people. We are sweaty and in it.
This is a big Sunday scaries day.
Huge.
Because like you probably had 4 days off.
Yes.
A lot of drinking. A lot of weird stuff happening.
Right. And a lot of a lot of social interaction, a lot of variables.
Yeah.
A lot of like meeting new people. Did I say the right thing? Did I say the wrong thing? Had a couple drinks in me.
Anyway,
welcome to
we had a great
today's
time
episode.
at the beach.
Great time at the beach.
How did Ibiza go?
Loved Ibiza.
Ibiza.
Such a douchey thing. You know, I would say...
Is that the only place in Spain where you have to say
Barcelona.
Oh,
Barcelona.
Right. Yes, Barcelona.
You know, it's an accent, I think, of like the area of the country. I think
it
that's
almost
what it is.
seems like someone's like fucking with you and telling you that that's how you say it, but that's actually how you say it. Do you know
if
what
it's
I mean?
a long
That's
con...
how I would fuck with someone.
Right. I want someone to mispronounce it over and over again
Right.
because I told them to do it. Yeah. I would say Ibiza is... It's beautiful, obviously.
Yeah.
It's
Did you rage?
See, that's the thing. They have fully dove into, we are the place to go to for a house music DJ up till 6 a.m. experience.
It feels like to me like it has the European Vegas reputation.
A little bit. The flight there was very Vegas-y. Everyone in there made the shirts they made for the bachelorette party.
Yeah.
And so it's either like British big group, we're here to get fucked up Vegas trip. That's one version of person going. And then there's this other group that's like the high-end...
Single comedian.
Big, fat, red single comedian.
Those are the only two types of people there.
That's right. But then there's this other group that's like, I'm into health stuff, but I also microdose drugs that I'm going to tell you are actually good for you.
It almost sounds like the tech bro Burning Man.
It's a Burning Man-ish person.
Okay.
And even everything looks that way. It's got that like
wooden,
wellnessy shit. Like you could there's like wellness company, like the wellness stuff is like big there, but in like a bullshitty way. You know, like everyone who's doing it, you're like, this can't be how you make your money. Like, you know, like it's like this, like, so it has that. Would I suggest it to someone? I think on the back end of your European trip, the way we did it, like the way I did it after our trip, I think it's a perfect way to go. Yeah. I loved it. The beach clubs were, and I'm not a clubber.
Did you go to the...
No. Okay. I had options to, never did it. I did like beach club during the day, dinner at night, bed, wake up early, do it again. Rinse and repeat. That's my thing. I love that on vacation. That's what I'm looking for.
You were definitely like the king of the sunbeds.
You know this from, and go to YouTube.
As you know from you picking me up off the streets.
Right.
Yes.
Took you in.
Yes.
Took in the stray. So would I say to someone, if you're a clubber and like someone who likes doing Molly and drugs of those natures, like, you know, trippy drugs, it's probably a place for you as well. Like that's a place that you would probably seek out.
Yeah.
If you're like me and you like a beach and a beach club and dinner, I don't think you need to go there for a week. I think you could like do that in the Caribbean. You could do that in Mexico. Tulum might be a better place for you. It's a long trip.
Did it feel like different than Cannes? I mean, obviously,
yes, way different than Cannes was just high end and royal and French.
A little less.
This
intense.
was more. I'm on an island on vacation. You know, this was definitely that feel more.
That's great.
But loved it.
I went to Ibiza.
You went?
Ibiza, sorry. When I was like 24, 25, and I did the club
at like
experience.
Well, that's the thing. At 39, I'm like, and I'm sure there's 39-year-olds who are like, I love a club, and that's okay. I think that's a place you should go.
Yeah.
Like it feels like the whole island has like dug into that. Like that's like part of the tourism bureau's like way to have people get there.
Yeah, and it was definitely, I mean, like it was great for that time in my life. It was one of those situations where everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
Oh, really?
My phone got stolen. My wallet got stolen. I missed my flight. It was.
Oh, you slept in the airport, right?
Yes,
That's crazy.
I was with Liza, my friend. She's been on the show. And we were
Stylist to the stars.
Yes, and we went to Ibiza because she was living in London, so I went to visit her in London. Then we went to Ibiza, and I had a dance floor makeout, and then my phone and my wallet got stolen.
A grifter.
Yes, and then
It was Oliver Twist, the Artful Dodger.
Exactly, and then we thought our flight was on Sunday at midnight.
Yeah,
and this was before they like changed things to make sure people knew when their flights were. It was actually Saturday night at midnight. Yes. And so we were like fucked. I also had I was so broke. It was like horrible, horrible situation. But love Ibiza. Sounds better.
Well, did I tell you my flight story?
No.
I went Marseille to Ibiza, Ryanair. So
Okay.
Ryanair is like,
wow.
I
Not too rich anymore.
we ain't in Delta anymore, Toto.
Yeah.
I go Ryanair from Marseille. Marseille, the airport looks like a high school auditorium. The way they board flights in Europe is like, I think better. It's like more like
Back to efficient.
It's more efficient.
Less classist.
It's way less classist. It's like the doors are open, go.
Right.
You know, like, and they put you in like a pig pen before, and they make you sit there. There's like a
feel
priority
everyone's
and
a little
not priority.
More chill about getting
way
on.
more chill. There's not like people are not caring as much about the overheads. Like they just are classier people there.
Right.
So we get on the flight.
We're monsters. We're like
We are total monsters.
You think you're getting on before me?
Right.
I got something else fucking coming.
Right. I am taking the overhead and I'm going to take extra just so you can't fucking get it. You know? So I get on the flight. I opt up for like priority everything because like flying alone abroad is
you're on Ryanair.
scary.
Live a little.
Right. So I'm front row and we take off. And I think when you take a flight, like a lot of like travel abroad, especially when you're like, I got to get back to New York, you know, things have to go right,
Yeah.
you know, to make sure the weekend, and we're a little delayed, but we get on we take off and, you know, we're 25 minutes into the flight. They serve. I love getting a coffee on a flight in Europe.
Hot coffee?
I get a hot coffee. They do crystals in Europe. They have like the coffee mix
Crystal
there.
meth?
I do a lot of crystal
Crystal
meth.
meth on the
Yeah, I
flight.
was doing some meth, as I do. And so I have my coffee, and all of a sudden you hear the loudspeaker. You hear, blah, 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 you know, guy in French. Blah, 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 blah. The whole plane literally was like, what the fuck? The whole plane. And it's all like bachelor and bachelorette parties. It was as if, and
What did they say?
They were so angry. And you know, it wasn't fear.
And
it
there's
was
no
anger.
English announcement?
But I missed the English announcement
Okay.
because everyone's screaming.
Okay.
And I'm like sitting there being like, and I'm alone. But you're don't speak the language. This is when it gets scary. And I'm going and I'm looking at everyone, and everyone's like, sacre bleu! You know? But you can read a vibe, you know?
Okay.
It's so weird how we're smarter than we.
Yeah, you can be scared by a vibe. I mean, like we're like animals like that.
Right.
You're
But-
like an energy.
Well,
Yeah.
also, we're smarter than we think. You can read what the sense is based on. I don't need to know the words to know the feeling. It
Right.
was
something
anger.
something has gone.
Something's gone wrong. The guy next to me, he was clapping, but sarcastically. He just was like, sacre bleu! Wee wee! You can tell he was doing the thing that people do when they're like, of course, airlines again, these
Okay.
stupid planes. Like,
You have no idea what's
I
happening.
have no idea what's going on. The guy has the cart, the flight attendant. He's backing it up. He's bringing it back. I go, what happened? I look at him. I go, what happened? He goes, we're landing in Palma, Mallorca.
Okay.
And I go, is that Ibiza? And he looked at me like, am I talking to the dumbest fucking
right.
person?
Or it'd be like if you were like, we're landing in South Carolina,
Right.
and you were like, is that close to JFK?
Right.
Right.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, that's a different
island.
No,
Yeah.
he just said no. So now, and honestly, the plane reacted, and I said this to my
like
brother.
You were going down.
No, it was as if a plane to Vegas on a Friday got diverted to Cleveland. Like what the fuck?
I think that is kind of what it. I mean, Majorca's nicer than Cleveland.
Well, that was
No
my
offense.
brother. I did the same. I said the same line to my brother, and he goes, "There's no St. Regis in Cleveland," and I was like, "Good point." So
There's no beach by noon. in
right,
Cleveland,
that's
yeah.
at least an island. So
Right.
in my mind,
You probably would have been fine in Majorca.
Well, this is what I'm doing now that no internet on the flight. I'm sitting there going, okay. And shout out to Allison at Over the Moon Vacations. I forgot to shout Plug City.
Yeah.
Everyone go follow Over the Moon
They're
Vacations.
great. They did my honeymoon. They did
They've done all my trips.
Your trip to Fra.
To Fra.
Your new one, yeah.
This one, she killed it. Over the Moon Vacations. Go follow them on Instagram. There is nothing smarter, in my belief, than getting a travel agent for when you go abroad. I think it's the move. They get paid by the places that they bring you to. You'd be like, well, what if it's not the cool place?
They know
the cool places, but also you have more say in this. They're not going to force you into places. You can say, I want to stay at this place, and they'll work it out for you. So Allison was great, but I'm like, on the flight, there's no internet. So I'm like, and so you start doing the thing in your brain. And again, when I fly, and I didn't say this last episode when we were talking about flying, if you fly a lot, you learn just lay in the lazy river.
Just go with it.
Let the current take you. You're never going to get anything out of being angry when you travel. You're never going to get anything.
Lesson I could have learned a few years ago.
This is only a lesson from flying a lot because I do have it in me when like they say the boarding numbers and I'm zone 1, I still get the anxiety and the rush of I get the fuck out of my way.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Save your anger for Vivid Seats.
Save it for Vivid Seats. Save it for when you land and you can call Delta on your own time and say, this didn't work out. I would like some miles. I do that all the time. Right. So, hey, my TV in the seat back didn't work. I'd like some miles. That's all you have to say, and they'll give them to you. Not a lot, but you'll get some satisfaction. Fine. Okay. So I'm sitting there laying in the lazy river of life going, what am I going to do?
Take it as it goes.
I go, you know what, Jared? You're going to get to Palma de Mallorca. We'll see if there's a boat. We'll see if there's a flight. Or we'll see what the hotel options are. We'll go when we land. Just breathe. We're going to be okay. 20 minutes later, the captain comes on the thing. He's like, everyone on the plane starts going, ah! It was like a goal was scored during the World Cup. Right. People were cheering, high-fiving. They're going, Ibiza, Ibiza, Ibiza. And you feel the plane take a left. And the guy, I look at the flight attendant, I go, what happened? He goes, they opened the runway.
They just closed the runway randomly?
We land in Ibiza. I go to the driver, set up by Over the Moon Vacations, had a driver waiting for me from the hotel. I paid for it, but,
it's not free.
I mean, nothing's free. Okay. I go, what happened? And he goes, there was a bomb threat at the airport, and they closed the runway.
Scary.
He goes, only a small bomb threat. And I'm like, that's like
only a small bomb.
Right. I was like, that's like a small heart attack.
A couple of firecrackers.
Right. What do you mean a small? He goes, it's nothing. It's nothing.
Happens all the time.
That's kind of the vibe he gave. And I was like, is there issues here? What's going on? He's like, no. We're fine. You don't worry. I go, what bomb scare is cleared up in 15 minutes?
I mean, if it happens all the time, then
right. I guess so. And it's one of those things where it's like, once you're landed, you're like, thank God we landed here. Like, I don't want to. So much that I thought I was going to have to deal with, I didn't have to deal with.
Right.
But so then had a great time in Ibiza. So that's my.
Well, I'm happy for you.
Do
you feel okay? So
I do feel refreshed.
To wrap up, I guess like our European vacation thing. Do you feel now like less PTSD towards your previous Fra experience?
I do. I feel, being there with you and Sammy and Aileen, I thought was fun and special.
And a lot of other American people.
And a lot of other American people. And again, like as something we want to believe we can go somewhere alone and then you're forced to do it. Mm-hmm. And you probably can't. It's probably not going to be that much fun for you. Alone for a day is like really nice. Alone for a week is different.
Yeah.
And I think, wanting a partner and wanting someone to travel with and wanting someone, you kind of value that more from being somewhere alone. And then like when we were in, it was nice to have like, we were at like an ads conference, right. So it was all Americans and that was fun.
A lot of activities.
There was a lot of activities. There was a lot of like, oh, this person? I saw like people I went to camp with were there.
Right.
I can meet people wherever I go, but also it was nice to be around a built-in thing, right? Yeah. We had so many cool events and the concerts and also Spotify. Thank you.
Yeah, get a great time. They were great to be there with.
You guys, just couldn't have been better hosts. So yeah, I think I have like a redemption on Fra.
Would you go back?
But it's more a redemption. I would go back, but it's more of a redemption on being in a relationship.
Right.
I guess to me, like it shows how important the people you choose to be in your life are, and like how how, you know, it really was nice to be with you in the bedrooms. I kept making the joke. I was like, 4 girls started a company in their dorm room.
4 founders.
4 founders, yeah. And it was really nice and special. I think that we got to do that, you know?
Yeah, and we had a great time, and it was great. And if you haven't listened to our little recap, we have one on YouTube and also on the podcast for subscribers.
Smash that subscribe button for us. I did want to ask you. You went to the you tried to go to the Taylor Swift concert. Yeah. Travis Kelce came out on stage. What did you think of the gushing over Travis as this amazing boyfriend and what that does for the dating world and people out there who are single and or not single? And
I think that people who are insane about Taylor Swift are fucking crazy.
Right.
There's something, and like, I saw the Travis Kelce thing. I saw it once. I was like, cute. And then I saw it everywhere. And again, like, then there are people trying to make statements about like what it means and why it's so special and why it's like Taylor Swift is like the most famous person in like the world. This is he didn't do anything special for her. This is like very cool for him.
And very cool for him, but also like a baseline as a boyfriend, I would think. Like, I don't know. Listen, I understand.
It's a lot of pressure for a lot of boyfriends.
Well, to be supportive of your partner.
I'm gonna have to have Mike come on the next You Up Live to do a top hat with a. Yeah.
Well, Mike is very supportive of you. From my vantage point,
right.
He comes to shows. He comes to the events.
Yeah.
He's there. He is, from my point of view, he seems very proud to be your boyfriend or your husband, and proud of your successes.
Right.
To me, that's normal. I don't know. Maybe I'm like, I know there are people out there and that what ends up happening, the people who take up the air in the room are the people who have gone through like horrible things. And right. I'm not saying they shouldn't take up the air in the room.
There are definitely people who are like looking at that and crying, which I think is like so fucking weird.
That too, but I think the statement pieces were the things that annoy me. Like, see, you know, I saw one where it was like when she showed up, none of the Swift fans were mad about a guy being at our concert, and all these men were mad about Taylor Swift getting talked about at the football game. And I was like, are we letting the extremists win? Right. Like I like.
No, you're basically, your point is that it's like baseline level of support that he came and did that.
Yeah, I think being happy, singing along with your girlfriend's songs. What
I
relationship? What are we looking up to? Like, what are we experiencing? If you're not in that, I don't understand. Like, I think I would do that for someone.
To me, this isn't even him doing any. This is more publicity for him than it is for.
Right.
To me, it's like. Well, I mean, I'm like, this isn't a special thing that he did for her. This is something that got him on the front page of every gossip thing that went on. 2, it's not like he. You know what's supportive? When you go to your girlfriend's slam poetry event that has 3 people in the front. Right. And you're helping her there.
Right.
This is Taylor Swift. Like, this is a cool thing for him to do. It's not like he did something for her. I just don't understand like what the
this heroism that he's getting given.
I think it's so weird.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing this to get himself somewhere. I understand how that. No, I haven't even heard that, which is crazy too, because it should be looked at like maybe he has ulterior motives. I don't think.
I mean, we can do a whole other episodes, maybe a different week about men who date, and then there's clout with something like celebrity dating culture or women. But like, I think there's a whole conversation to be had about that. But to me, it's like he's not doing anything. He's doing the biggest favor he's doing is to himself by being in the show. Right.
If you put it on a list of who's gotten the most out of this,
100%.
I guess
got to meet the royals.
Right. He never would have without her.
Right.
And, you know, I guess Taylor is, I've said that she's like the 3rd hottest girl in the cool group at any upper class town.
That's why she's so relatable.
Well, and that's why her audience is so big. And that's why people kind of put on her like, finally she found a guy. Finally a guy who's being good to her. Finally a guy who's supportive. And I'm like, and I get to sit here on the You Up podcast and be the voice of disgusting dude.
Yeah.
And I don't sound great sometimes. And I'm doing that because I am here to be as honest as humanly possible, because I do believe that is funniest and that is also the most helpful.
So what are you saying that's disgusting?
I'm just saying sometimes the truth is disgusting.
Right. Yeah. Well,
so the idea
it's not a rom-com.
To idolize this guy for doing what boyfriends do, or should be doing. I
don't think he's even doing as much as boyfriends.
Right.
Do,
They don't
to
have
be
a kid
honest.
together. He's not like at home with the kid,
It's also
taking a
like,
turn while she's at work.
That's what I'm saying. It's like also this is like the coolest thing most people would have ever done in their whole lives.
Right. I just the way he was written about, I don't know what level of partner people are either getting or they're imagining their exes to have been.
Right.
Or imagining men in general. I don't know. This is a defense of boring dudes. Is really what this is. Like, I guess, like,
yeah, I don't think
know.
he was worth. It was worthy of so much praise.
I'm attracted to successful women, so like I do.
You would have done that for Taylor,
of course.
If you're listening, Taylor,
I would have opened. I guess, is the bar really this low that giving a thumbs up to your girlfriend and her job is like, also, men, like what are you not getting?
Right. He was also already in Cannes, so he was like already kind of in Europe.
We were at the same event.
Yeah, I mean, we had the same schedule, Travis Kelce and I. He got in, but
right.
I didn't. I don't know. I don't think he was using Vivid Seats. Fuck you, Vivid Seats. Fuck you, Vivid Seats.
We will not stop until you are over.
Until you are destroyed.
Let's do an email. You ready?
Okay.
My fiance wants to bring a stripper to his party. So this is a couples court. If you're in a relationship and you have a dispute with your boyfriend or girlfriend,
we'll tell you who's right.
We'll tell you who's right. We'll take you to couples court. J&J, Judge J&J.
Yes.
Ready?
We need gavels for this section.
My fiance wants to bring a stripper to his party. Most of his friends said they are not really into this. I don't know if I trust the reporter.
Would you be into that? If
No,
my friend
I don't
was like,
care.
I'm having a get together. I'm bringing a stripper. Would you be like, amazing?
Well, bachelor party stripper stuff, I'm always like,
he didn't say he said it's having a party.
Oh.
Which I think is
it's a fiance who wants to bring a stripper to his party.
That's
Most of his friends
different.
say they're not really. Yeah, it is a little different. And he said he's.
You'd be like, are you okay?
What's going on?
That's what I'm saying.
What party is this? Why should we? Why would anyone celebrate? Why are we? I'm trying to think of a stupid holiday. Why would anyone celebrate Passover this way? And he said if most people don't want, he wouldn't get one. Well, if no one wants one, what is he talking about?
A poll.
This isn't like an ice luge.
Do you guys want pizza? We need a critical mass.
I said to him, I am not willing to bring a stripper into our apartment. I told him it's disgusting to me that a person will take off their clothes in our space.
What does she do in her space?
Right. She's a never nude. He said he has a plan B for where to do it. I got a barn, don't worry. But he respects me if I want to bring a guy stripper, and that he is giving our space to my party, so he hopes I will do the same because he is telling me nicely and not hiding it. It sounds like it's their bachelor and bachelorette party.
I would imagine.
Because
she's just calling it a party, but
Right.
It might be like a little bit of a language barrier here.
Her party, his party,
Sure.
sounds like a bachelor and bachelorette
But
party.
he's having his bachelor party in their apartment?
Well, if there is a language barrier, we're doing things with bachelor and bachelorette parties that no other country's doing.
Right. They're
Like,
not quite as extensive.
Right. I'm sure some of them go to Ibiza, but a lot of them are like, hey, we're going to go out in the city that we live in, and we're going to pregame in my apartment, which is normal. You know,
right. Yeah.
We tell each other everything and always have a good time and support one another. I'm not saying to him not to get a stripper because I trust him, but I don't want a stripper in my place. And I told him he also to be careful with alcohol and that. He said he will, and he will tell his friends to look after him. I'm super happy and excited. It's just a boundary as a line, not in our space. Also, it's my mom's apartment too.
That's a big part of it.
Please don't put your pussy on my mom's face.
That's not an effort. I assume the mom is not going to be there. I'm going to hope.
Gonna
for that
assume.
situation.
Yeah.
To me, I think she's being fair. She says fine to have a stripper. Don't want it in the apartment.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I would say the same thing. I'd say you don't
Right.
want like weird shit going on in the place where you live.
Right. And a little too close to home. I you know.
Right. I think her issue is that she's saying
I don't need my sheets to smell like cotton candy.
I don't think she should go the route of it's disgusting that a person will take their clothes off in our space.
Right.
I would just go with, hey, I don't really want like a party in my space, and I don't want like a stripper, and I don't want just like Like, I'd rather that be separate from
Right.
our life here. Like,
And-
go have your own fun elsewhere.
And I think, yeah, it's how she's going about it that's the wrong way to go.
Right.
Your friends don't even want it. What do you think his friends are going to say to you? No, I need some titties. Like, they're going to be soft
Right.
on the answer.
Yeah. Well, Jack really wants it. I'm gonna
Right.
name him through it.
Right. And it's like, listen, yeah, I'm with you. We don't need to do this in the home. Go rent out a Knights of Columbus and
What's that?
It's like a
Strip club?
no. It's like a
Event space?
DFV. Go get the local DFV. You know, it's like a local
Yeah.
like
I also don't think
community center. Go to the YMCA, rent out the
Right.
the room.
I also don't think him saying, like, well, you could do it if you want is
No,
that's
not a
annoying.
good argument.
That's annoying.
Right. And
Right.
I think this is where a lot of arguments fail. It's like, I'm going to now shame you for even having the thought of this.
Right.
Where you go, it's disgusting that I would never have someone take their clothes off in my mother's apartment. You know, that's where you get into like, he's going to put his fists up because now you've judged him as a person.
Right.
You've made him this disgusting animal who doesn't give a fuck about your mom's Fabergé eggs. And do it. I think,
Go to a
hey,
strip club.
You want a stripper? Do your thing. I don't really need to hear about it. Also, let's not do it in our home.
Right.
Boom.
I think that's fine. I agree. Let's do another email.
Let's do it.
Hi, J&J, longtime listener, benefit subscriber, and I've sent in my dating woes many times.
Love a paying customer.
I've sent in my dating woes many times without any email getting on the pod. No hard feelings, though.
You made it.
Love it. We got a lot of emails.
Yeah.
But this one's made it. Congrats.
We talked to a lot of women, toots.
I'm looking for advice when it comes to the dating list. I know you've both made a list of things you're looking for in a partner, but I'm wondering if either of you have ever shared the list with potential relationship matches. I've recently reconnected with a guy that I was casually seeing last summer. We met on Hinge and we saw each other for a couple of weeks, then it fizzled out and we both went on to date others. But in the past couple of months, we started texting again, mostly booty calls from my end. I really wasn't looking for anything exclusive with this guy. I just kind of wanted to have some fun as I'm trying to get over the last guy I dated.
A lot of issues here.
A lot to unpack. Anyway.
No wonder she writes to us so much.
Seems like you've got
We
issues.
should have been helping.
Where were we? Brought us in too
Right.
late. Anyway, he has brought up his list and said that the only way he could ever become exclusive with someone is if they exchanged lists.
Just dump this guy, okay?
Well,
You need to stop
that's
texting
all
with
you-
this
that's
guy.
all we needed to
That's
hear.
all
I
need to
agree.
hear.
I agree.
Give me a list, kid.
We need to exchange lists.
What?
What is this, an STI report?
Right. You need to end this. You need to stop texting with this person. You fizzled for a reason. Okay,
He's
go
a
on.
douchebag. But from what I can tell from his list is it's more a list of demands rather than what he's looking for in a partner.
She's got to blow me every Tuesday, suck on my ball
Guy
every
sou-
Wednesday.
This guy sounds like the womanizing monster from
Right.
the last week's episode.
Right.
He explained that his list is made up of non-negotiables and that if the other person doesn't think they can meet his expectations, then there's no point in going into a relationship with them. His list has categories as well, like emotional needs, sexual needs, social needs, etc. I'm just imagining.
This list is crazy.
I'm
I need to
imagining
see
you
it.
saying this. It's like very funny in my mind.
I need someone who will lick my asshole
Here.
and
Take
give
the-
to charity.
Take the menu.
Right. Here you go. This is a packet. This will give you all the things you need. It's like checking into the hotel.
Yeah, are you fucking crazy? This kind of came out of the blue for me because I really thought we were just hooking up casually, but he keeps bringing up the list exchange every time we hook up and quite often when we text. He has never straight out told me he wants to date me or that he even likes me. He just wants you to know where he stands.
Right. He might be trying to tell you what he wants sexually,
That could be it.
you know?
But that's even more devious.
Right,
to
this
me.
is a
It's like,
manipulation.
this is the way that I commit if I get these sexual needs met.
Right. Well, also, it just might, he knows he's never going to commit. There's something on the list she doesn't have.
Right.
And he's going to
so
go.
he's using the list as
Right, and
just so you
see-
know that you don't
Here's
qualify for
right.
section 5A.
Right. Here's a menu of things I'd like. And, sorry, you missed the red line,
This
section CA2.
This person's a monster.
Right.
The nature of the list is kind of throwing me off. I feel like he's trying to jump past the stage of getting to know someone. Is it even possible for someone to fulfill every requirement without really knowing them or having life events happen? There are so many X factors. He has mentioned that he thinks it's the best way to avoid getting hurt or wasting time. Is this a major red flag considering we haven't even really done much other than hook up? I'm very curious what he has on his list, so I kind of just want to do the exchange to see what this guy is looking for. This
it ain't you.
You need our help desperately. What do you guys think? Is this going to be the way to avoid wasting time, or is this guy just Delulu? Love you guys. Signed, I'll show you mine if you show me yours first.
Listen, I think she's great. I love that she's a fan of the podcast. Let me just it feels like sometimes we have listeners that write in that are doing level 300 stuff when they should be on level 1-on-1.
How so in this case?
In this case, she's now referencing we haven't even gotten to know each other, but you said you thought it was just a booty call,
right?
And you're trying to have sex with someone to get over someone that you just ended things with. So it's you're doing so many things that are dating related that you've probably heard on podcasts that you gotta take a breath. I think she needs to realize this isn't the guy. Having sex with someone isn't gonna make you feel better.
It's actually probably gonna make you feel worse.
Right. And going back to someone,
especially someone like this,
especially someone you couldn't figure it out with. So now you're coming off of something where you probably feel, shitty about yourself. Mm-hmm. And now you're going to someone to answer your to make you feel better. But now you can't figure them out either. So now you're what is wrong with me? And it's not that there's anything wrong with you. You're a good person. But I think you got to slow down.
Well, here's also, it's funny, the thing that because you are always saying that men think about the end.
Right.
And women, I think about the possibilities.
Right.
And that's very clear in this email. She's like, I don't really like him, but maybe.
Right. What if the list is a match?
Right. Maybe we can make it work.
Right.
There's something, and that sometimes when you do that so often, you try to make something out of something that is so clearly awful.
Right. Yeah, and he's literally giving the list of why you won't be together. This isn't the list of possibilities. This is the list of enders.
Right. This is the This is the bag of tricks he has to end it. He just throw one out.
It's the break in case of emergency, because he's going, okay, now you have the list. Number 5 is why we're not going to ever be together. But since you'll do 1 through 4,
right?
Let's just hang until then.
Exactly.
It's a lot of manipulation. It's a lot of this guy's playing a game, and you're also playing the game with him.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I think to me, the biggest lesson you could learn from this is a waving red flag of disrespect. Mm-hmm. The fact that someone would even say this to you, or bring this up, or be waving this in your
I could
face.
understand how it's happening because it's probably flirty. Where's your list? It does sound like it starts.
I guess. But to me, it's sometimes guys do that where it's it comes off flirty, and then I think it crosses a line into jokingly disrespectful.
Right.
To see how far they can go. And that's when it's really manipulative, because it's sort of they're easing their way into being a douchebag. Right. They're seeing how much you'll take.
And she's trying to play it cool and be tough and be I can hang with this. And it's no. This is not, it's a mess.
Right. And this is never going to be a thing. And don't let him be flirty in a way that doesn't feel feels icky to you. It feels not that they're being, he's not being nice to you.
And another thing she's probably going to do, she's probably going to want this this ending, this closure that's going to feel, satisfactory to her. You're never going to get that.
No.
You need to,
not with this guy.
You need to be the one who ends it, and then never respond to the text again from him.
Right.
And I don't believe it's going to happen any other way but that, because this guy will always be just nice enough. Oh, I'm joking around. This meme made me think of you.
Right.
He's playing the game because you're there to play it with him.
Well, that's why she has to be what this show does best. If you've been listening for a while, a better consumer of these men, where you can see these very, very stark red flags and be this isn't for me. If I'm looking for something serious, it's never going to be this person.
Right.
And I think that's the best thing the show can give you, is a sense of I see this action, and from listening to the show, I know that this is just never going to be a thing.
No. List guy. We solved dating again.
We did it. Proud of us. We'll be back on Wednesday.
Boom.
The U Up podcast is produced by Belle Roman and Candice Maniga. Editing by Belle Roman. Social media by Candice Maniga. Be sure to follow at u.up.podcast on Instagram and send us your emails to uup@betches.com.